Welcome, everybody. We are the XoneBros. This is your positive gaming Xbox One community. Let me tell you, for everybody that's listening to the podcast right now on your way to work, just know that tonight's stuff has hit the fan, and it's hit the fan multiple times, even just right now in between, just during the credits right now that we're rolling the intro music. Stuff happened. It got real. And
We learned I'm an idiot.
We learned some valuable lessons about
Some life lessons.
Some life lessons, yes.
Lesson number 1, don't erase specific files you need to run a podcast.
Lesson number 2, hit the record button before you start the show.
Yeah.
It didn't have it.
I mean, we did how many times of that intro? 3 or 4, and then the one that was the take, I didn't press record. Whatever, we're just rolling with it, everybody.
We're rolling. We're just going with it. Welcome, everybody. We are your XoneBros. Thank you very much for joining with. This is your positive gaming and Xbox One community. This is podcast number 273. As always, I'm joined by the bros, the XoneBros. First, it's Mr. McSpicy.
Hey.
He's lost 2 years for what just happened before the show. It's Jordan the Man.
Hello.
And I am X1. Welcome to the show. Let's just jump right into it.
Yeah, I mean, we've been streaming for 2 hours. Might as well do a show now.
Let's just jump right into it. Black Knight actually had a question. We've actually got 2 questions, but Black Knight had a question that I wanted to jump in and use as the focal point of today's. This is his question. Black Knight wrote in. He says, "Do you believe games are becoming too grindy? Like if you miss a week or one day, you may have missed a meta weapon that everyone has, and to play with them, they say, 'Do you have this weapon?' and you don't, and then you feel like a fool. They don't let you play." Grindy games. I don't know if games are too grindy, but there are more grindy games. Do you think that's an accurate statement? Jordan, thoughts? Grindy games.
Yeah, I don't think there's too grindy, right? I mean, that's what's cool about that weapon is it's rare.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Or that piece of equipment, piece of gear, whatever whatever game you're playing.
Is it like
it's what adds rarity to that.
It's like the creeper status, right? A girl considers you a creeper if she's not into you. If she's into you, what you say is not creepy. Right? That's like grindy. If you're into the game, it's not grindy. If you're not, it's super grindy. Is that what makes a game grindy?
Well, there's games that I like that I consider grindy, like Destiny.
I keep thinking, is that what makes it grindy? Is the girl that thinks you're a creep? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I actually think that games can be too grindy. I agree. I think, though, that some games do the grindiness well in the fact that they make it so it's like dailies.
Oh, yeah.
And weeklies and monthlies and whatever it is. Because then I can just choose not to do those.
Sure.
But some games where if you don't do it and then you're behind everyone else, like how ESO launched.
Sure.
Made it so I could not play with my friends.
You literally could not play.
Yeah.
There was no way.
And that's a game that I would want to play with my friends in, right?
Absolutely.
So I think there's a right way to do it. I think there's a wrong way to do it. That game now is fixed where you can choose your grind level. You know, I mean, Jordan right over here is
he's the grind master.
He's a
power player.
Level 10 grinder.
Yeah, he's a level 10 dungeon grinder. That's what he does.
He's got the badges to prove it, too.
He grinds it out. You see his hands? Show the world your hands.
Show the world your hands.
Show your world your hands.
Your man hands.
These are grinding hands right there. Yeah. For everybody listening, Jordan's holding his man hands up. Those are grinder hands.
Those can grind.
Man grinders.
Very impressive.
That's what they are.
Yeah.
Jordan, you're a man grinder.
The good old MGs.
The MGs.
The man grinder.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's my thought. I think, and when a game does do that, I just don't play it.
Yeah.
Because all right, you're going to suck the life out of me. I'm going to do.
ESO is an example where they did the grind wrong at first, right?
Yeah.
Like they went back and fixed it because you were left out essentially when it first dropped. They made a lot of changes. They went with the one world ESO. Jordan, have you ever felt left out of a game that was just too grindy that you just couldn't keep up with? Is there any game like that in your lifelong experience? And who does it the best in your opinion?
Who does the grind the best?
Yeah.
I don't know. A lot of games do it differently, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Destiny does it pretty well. It's just a carrot on a stick, right? Why are you continuing to log in and get that stuff?
Yeah.
Right? World of Warcraft used to do it really well.
Maybe they're going to do it again.
They are in a couple weeks.
Yeah. Hey.
So, and tonight.
You've been tech testing it, right?
Yes.
Boosting up.
Yes. It's not easy, but that's what's nice.
So they do it right. Who did you say you think did it right? Spicy, it looks like you were going to say.
I was going to say games that are more casual with not casual with the grind. I mean, it has to be kind of a case-by-case basis. I like Hearthstone.
Sure.
Because the grind is the dailies. They give you good dailies, and they stack. Like, there's 3 of them, and you can choose once a day to get rid of one of the things, to change it out with something else if you don't want to play. For example, if you don't play Hunter and
Yeah.
they have a hunter daily, right? You
Yeah.
can switch it out, and there's a chance to get something that you do enjoy. I think that's a really good way to do it. I don't like the ones that you can't remove, the dailies that are stuck. And Hearthstone actually does it wrong sometimes, where they have events
Sure.
that say, for example, I had one that was something that I could not do. I literally could not do it, but it was part of the event for 3 months, whatever expansion that they had. And I could not do it in my situation and my cards and how I have everything set up. I literally could not do the daily, but it kept the slot for 3 months. And so I only had 2 slots to basically work with,
Yeah.
right? So there's wrong ways to do it, and they do that too. But I don't know, case by case basis. If it offends me, I won't play it. Like ESO,
You take it personal.
I do.
You
I
take
do.
it personal.
Yeah.
A couple games. Diablo came up in chat here. Diablo, Overwatch. Bareback there says the Overwatch gold weapon grind sucks. You guys have experience with the gold weapon grind?
Super. They did that on purpose. They want you to. They want the golden guns to mean something.
Yeah.
And Blizzard, they know how to grind,
Yeah.
and it takes so much gameplay to get a golden gun.
Well, just to get to ranked. I'm trying to get to ranked so I can play with you. I'm level 17 right now. It takes so long just to get to be able to play ranked mode, which I
They did
get
that on purpose, too.
I get that, but maybe just ease it up a little bit for me. I don't know.
I think they did that on purpose in the wrong way because they slowed down leveling so you'd buy more.
So you'd buy more
loot boxes.
loot
Oh,
boxes.
essentially, is that what
Yeah,
it was?
they you're coming in late. They wanted to increase their dividend,
Dang it.
so they
Dang
or it wasn't
foolish.
Blizzard. I bet you good old Activision.
Hey, Trish.
had them flip the switch.
Yeah. Hey, Trisha says Destiny feels like is a good grind. He says I don't mind grinding in Destiny unless my friends are ahead of me, and then I get irritated. And I think that's the point that Black Knight says. If your friends are ahead of you, it's almost defeating, right? It feels defeating
rough.
sometimes.
It makes you feel like you want to play another game.
It's the good part of the game because it keeps you hooked, but it also can leave you feeling abandoned.
Destiny is one of those games where you could do other things
This is
with
true.
your friends.
This is
So
true.
it makes it, if it's the only thing like ESO was, then it's like, why would I even try?
Yeah.
But Destiny, you can be like, okay, well, let's just do these strike missions for now, and then we can build you up together. And it still helps everyone, sort of, to a certain extent.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I just thought that was a really good question. I have
it was.
one more to bring up before we get to news. This one comes from John O'Man. John O'Man says, "Do you feel that selling cosmetics has on a cash shop? Oh, sorry. Do you feel that selling cosmetics on a cash shop has made it easier for devs and is ruining the depth of games instead? Like if you were able to unlock them by achievements, Jordan
Yes.
explained, like you used to be able to earn."
So basically, the question is: do you feel, and maybe anyway, do you feel that by being able to buy cosmetics in the shop is ruining a part of the gameplay?
yeah,
Yes, I do. Because, for example, let's take Halo 3. When we got those skins in multiplayer, it was because you earned them.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, the samurai,
Yeah.
the
It's 'cause
sword.
whether
on the
whether
back,
you're
yeah.
doing skulls in campaign or whatever, it's because you earned them, right? And there's a sense to that earning. Like take it like World of Warcraft Classic, doing
Yeah.
a tech test today and tomorrow, and then coming out in a few weeks. When you had good gear, you earned that gear. And talk about a grind. I mean,
Sure.
so when someone comes in with the sword of swords, you're like, holy. You slash kneel to that guy.
Slash
you know what I mean? That guy. That guy comes in. Like, same with, I thought Destiny 1 did it really well. What was it called? Fatebringer? One of the coolest hand cannons I've ever seen in my life. I've still
weapon.
yet to get it. Awesome. And I guess it's RNG focused, but you had to earn it, right? You know what I mean?
Sure.
It wasn't purchasable.
I think
And that's not necessarily a cosmetic, but I mean, it kind of
Yeah.
expands into that realm of gear, cosmetics, stuff like that, right?
I personally think the solution is a hybrid of both. For example, Fortnite does you can buy the whatever season pass or whatever, and then you can get stuff, right?
Yeah.
And when you get to tier 100, usually it's a pretty good skin.
yeah.
For example, I have the
John Wick?
the Reaper, which was the original
John
John
Wick,
Wick,
yeah.
although they did come out with a John Wick, so that makes it kind of dumb. But when I pulled out that skin from season 3 or 4,
Sure.
it meant it does mean something, right?
Yeah.
But you still can go to the shop and buy other skins that you like.
Yeah.
But they do have those skins that go when you're playing in a match, you go, there's a John Wick over there. Be careful,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because you knew that they put in the time, and so they have
To get that.
experience.
But
Yeah.
again, with that system in Fortnite, can't you just buy your levels too?
You can, but what a damn waste of money.
Yeah, I know. That's what but you know.
But
That's
for the
like
most part, most people aren't doing
Most
that, though.
people won't do that
They
because
can't because they can't afford it.
it's so expensive.
No, it really is. What is it?
It would-
A couple bucks per level or something?
I don't think it ruins the game. I think if you do it right. Like I think like Spicy said, there is as long as it's something. If they have equipment that you have to earn, the grind for the golden guns in Overwatch, right? Like
Yeah.
you've earned those,
Yeah.
and then you can get other stuff too. So I don't think it ruins it. I do think if you do it wrong and you make it too easy, it does take away a little bit of the depth, and especially the coolest gear needs to be hard to get. It needs to be the hardest to get.
Well, I don't think it ruins a game. I do think it takes away a gameplay element.
There you go. Yeah, I think that's a way. It does because the game could still be fun and have.
Because when I got
who
the
cares?
samurai
'Cause it's
skin
cosmetics.
or some of the other cosmetics in Halo 3, it was like, whoa, yeah,
yeah.
you know what I mean? It was a thing.
Brendiggy in chat says, "Wouldn't the competitive gamer avoid wearing the Reaper skin since other players would be more cautious around you?" Yes, and that's why a lot of the more experienced or a lot of experienced players wear the default skins for that competitive edge. But at the same
But
time,
sometimes you just want to whip it out.
when you pull up in a Lambo,
Let me whip this out.
when you pull up in a Lambo, you get people look, right? And that's the same thing. Like you have the skin that was hard to get.
This is true.
Yeah.
So and sometimes you just want to roll in the Lambo.
This is true.
Like
go ahead.
I was gonna say there's an example, one that I'll never forget. We all know Illidan, our good
Sure.
friend.
Yeah.
Demon Hunter. Anyway, in
Our good friend, the Demon
our
Hunter.
good friend the Demon Hunter, yeah. In the expansion Burning Crusade, you actually fought him as a raid boss, right?
He has
Yeah.
cool weapons. His blades.
Yeah,
he
you
uses.
can get them. They're the war glaives,
Whoa,
right?
You can.
But there
Hey,
was
can I get them like in real life? I want them.
yeah, maybe.
They kind of remind me of like the Klingon weapons.
Yeah, they're
Okay,
cool.
sorry,
That's-
I don't mean to
I think
interrupt
he
you.
descends from them.
From the Klingons.
Yeah. No, so you could get the warglaives, which were hard enough to get already because there were a drop rate and you had to beat them on different, stuff like that. But I remember who got world first or server first warglaives on our server, right? And that guy was legit. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he had an aura around him when you'd see him walking around the city. You know. Like it meant something because he literally had no life.
Yeah.
So
And how do you kill that
which has no life?
So to
no, I mean I'm sure he had a life, but
So
it means something.
yeah,
You know?
no, I agree. So to summarize, we don't think it ruined. I think we're all in agreement here, right? It doesn't ruin the game. Like to be able to have cosmetics, but we do enjoy when they make special cosmetics that you have to earn. Like that adds additional gameplay.
I think it's a balance. I
Yeah.
think you don't unlock everything for people to just straight up and pay for.
Yeah.
But they still need to make money, and I get that. And like Fortnite is a perfect example of making cool skins will make money.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But at the same time, I pull out my Reaper, and even when I'm playing with my nephews and their friends, they go, "Oh snap!
Oh, it's never where'd you get
Yeah.
that from?
I'm glad he's on my team."
Yeah.
Because that was the one season I played Fortnite hard.
Is that the game where you've purchased the most cosmetics? What's the game you
Absolutely.
purchased the most cosmetics? That one.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although you could argue that Hearthstone's card packs
Are cosmetic,
are
yeah.
technically the same thing.
The
Yeah.
ski card skins and stuff.
Yeah, well, they don't. Well, you kind of earn those, but
Yeah.
just the fact that you're buying something that's in a package that
Sure,
you don't know, there's a random drop.
Yeah,
for cards.
I think too. I know for myself, I don't mind.
Oh, whoops!
Oh my goodness!
We got the
there you
alerts
go.
on.
Yes, there you go. Listen to the podcast live. You're
There we go.
confused. Wingman status, baby. Thank
Yeah.
you for the follow. This for those of you that listen. If you ever want to watch the show live, you can do so every single week over at Mixer, mixer.com/XoneBros. Come join us. Special stream
What's so
every
great
single
about?
day.
Do you know what's so great about today?
It's how the sausage is made.
How
factory.
many errors that have happened?
That's okay. This is what happens. We're just every week we're trying to improve the stream. We're trying to take things to the next level. Trying to improve the podcast. And when you do that, sometimes you cross streams, you cross
Yeah.
wires.
Cross the streams. I thought you said that was bad.
It's,
It is.
Yeah.
But no, it's an interesting question, and
It's
I
a
know
good
I've
question.
been talking about gear, but I think gear and cosmetics, buying and earning them, kind of.
Yeah, also-
I don't know, there's just something about
Also,
earning
if there's a
something,
good
you know?
game that you enjoy purchasing cosmetics
Yeah.
to support the developers. I think that's
That's a lot of people do.
Yeah.
I know I do Hearthstone again. Every time they come out with an expansion, I'll buy the most thing just because I think they're a good developer and I think they're making good content. I
Yeah.
will every expansion purchase the $80 pack or $60 pack. Which, by
It's
the
the
way,
best value.
the $80 pack,
It's the best value.
I only got 2 legendaries.
That's how they.
That's
how they get
That's
ya.
the worst, absolute worst possible. You get 80 packs and you get, I think, a legendary out of every 40 guaranteed, and I got 2 and 80. So it's literally the worst.
Wow.
Wow, luck was not with you that night.
It was a bad day. No, it was a good day because I got to open cards, but
That is fun.
yeah.
That is fun.
That was some
Anyways,
bad
Great
energy.
question. Great question, Black Knight. Great question, gentlemen. Thank you very much for writing in. Before we get to news, it is that time of the month. Can we cue up the announcement music?
Yeah.
It's time for our giveaway, our monthly Patreon giveaway. To enter the monthly video game giveaway, you just have to be live during the show over on Mixer.com. You're automatically entered. And then if you're not able to make it live, if you're a Patreon supporter, you automatically are entered as well. Coming in.
So this is the winner.
This week's winner. Yeah.
This month's winner.
This month's
We
winner.
roll when Spicy's talking.
Oh, what? So I need to
Last
talk.
segment. No. Where are you roll?
So I need to talk while you roll.
Looks like this month's winner. Oh my goodness. Coming in a cool 5'2", 175 pounds. The one and only, the man with the 10. He is Cerebra Assassin.
Oh!
Cerebra Assassin, come on down.
One
Yes.
of the producers.
He's the producer
yeah,
as well.
he's got a Dark Souls credit.
Yeah.
Does have a Dark Soul. The Dark
he
Soul
deserves
man.
it. He's been around forever.
Congratulations. Thank you very much, everybody, for your support. Thank you to all our patrons. We really appreciate it. If you'd like to support the show, you can do so by heading over to patreon.com /X1, / positive gaming, XoneBros.com /support. Support us. It really helps. It helps keep the lights on. But we're trying to improve the stream. Then it really helps if you support us.
It really
Improve the
does.
stream. Like a lot.
Well,
And thank you. We love you guys. This is the best community, seriously.
Maybe there'll be less problems, but
Yeah.
I know from Puff Daddy that Mo Money is Mo Problems.
Problems.
Yeah, so figure that out.
Doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make any sense. With that, let's get this show on the road. Dude, Jordan, tell us what is happening in the world. That is Xbox One this week.
Finally, without any further delays, we have gotten the official patch for the Cataclysm event in Anthem.
Boom.
It's here. They've added the Cataclysm. They've added a little bit new story. There's 2 core mechanics to the 2 core mechanics to the Cataclysm are the timer that counts down as you run through and as you try to squeeze in encounters to extend time before the final boss fight. Which it's pretty cool. I've yet to play it. I actually had to reinstall Anthem last night on my box.
Yeah, before the stream, I was asking people, because we
Yeah.
haven't had a chance to jump into Cataclysm yet. This has been huge, right? And before the stream, we were asking people what they played, and someone had mentioned that they had jumped in, I believe it was Professor Chungus, I want to say, that they had jumped in to the new Anthem patch, and Cataclysm is amazing. So that is good news. That's good to hear. A lot of people have been waiting for this patch. It got delayed. It is here. Cataclysm is here. The mechanics sound cool.
Yeah, no, yeah. So there's a timer mechanic, and then the fact that the storm outside selected safe zones means you can't just go exploring. You know, it kind of keeps you. Anyway, it's super cool. There's a lot of cool stuff. I'm actually excited because there's some new story missions. There's some, I believe, there's new gear as well, and they've added updates to the guild system and all that fun stuff. Like I said, I haven't played it yet. I'm just kind of going off some of the patch modes. I haven't even. Yeah. Anyway, I reinstalled it because I did actually uninstall it from my box.
it's a big patch.
No, it's. I think it's their biggest since launch.
Yeah.
So good update. I like Anthem. I really do. I think it's a good game. I think the mechanics are good. I do think they lacked the content.
Yeah, I mean, that was
Right?
the common theme. Is it too late, do you think? I don't think it is. I don't think. Here's the thing that we've learned with like a No Man's Sky. It's never too late.
No, not at all.
Yeah,
I mean, look at. I always talk about Final Fantasy 14. I mean, they botched it. And
Or Diablo.
now-
Look at Diablo.
Oh, they-
Diablo 3.
They way botched
They
it.
botched that one.
I mean, I
and
don't-
then
I
that
don't-
That one botched so hard.
I don't
And
even know how that
I
conversation
remember at
went.
launch, and then it took like 3 years, and it was basically a relaunch, and then everybody jumped back in. And
Yeah,
Diablo
I think
3
it was,
is fantastic.
Well,
Yeah,
you
no.
remember the first 2 weeks, let alone all the problems with the auction house and all that stuff.
Yeah.
The first 2 weeks, no one could play.
Because it was online only.
It was online only, and their servers were broken. So
Yeah, so
it was a single player online only game.
yeah, and so
Where you used real money to buy your gear in the dungeon crawler. Which dungeon crawlers, that's funny because
It's a-
dungeon crawlers
that's the
are
purpose
looting
of it.
game. Yeah, the
Yeah.
purpose of it is to loot.
Yeah, that botched hard.
Yeah,
It's a hard
but then they
botch.
came back, they redid it, and Diablo
was a
3
botchling.
is a fantastic game. Same with
good.
No Man's Sky. Now, Anthem didn't have those kind of problems. Anthem's complaint was people wanted more of it, right? Like, that's ultimately the complaint, which is actually, when you think about it, is a good complaint. Oh, man, I just wanted more. You know what I mean? Like, there just
more
wasn't enough content
the,
there for
the
them.
loop wasn't sustaining.
The loop wasn't
Yeah,
satisfying.
but that can be upsetting. Like,
no,
think
no,
about
it is upsetting.
No, yeah, I get that.
There's a nice big burger.
Oh, yeah.
You know, third pound or whatever, and then you take one bite and they take it away. That's upsetting.
It
Yeah, it is.
Or the worst. This is the worst is when you ask your wife. She's probably watching, so I got to be careful, I guess. You ask your wife,
Backup
"Do
wife.
you want
Don't worry."
food? Because I'm going to get some food, just so you don't eat my food."
Oh, that happens to me all
and
the
then
time.
she goes, "I'm not hungry.
Oh, hey,
it's fine.
Can I have some
No,
of your fries?
she doesn't. I will spend my fun money to get this under control because I have a specific amount of food that I want to eat, and then it's no, it's fine, whatever.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, we've had a lot of discussion over the years. I think I have it under control now, but there's still that chance that she'll take a couple fries.
Yeah, yeah.
That upsets me, and so when Anthem doesn't come out with everything that we want. To say, somebody's picking off your fries, you get upset.
You get upset, yeah.
As a man, you get upset.
I can relate. I understand.
Yeah.
But hopefully this solves it. We will jump into Anthem this week. We will give you guys our first impressions next week, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah, so pretty cool patch. Check it out. And it's free, I guess we should say, on top of
there you
that.
go.
It's 100% free. All right, Modern Warfare had some more news this week.
Dude, it's-
so not necessarily surprising because the last few Modern Warfare or last few Call of Duty games have had this, but they did confirm it. Modern Warfare is getting dedicated servers, which is fantastic. Dedicated servers are always good for everybody. Activision apparently has the money for it.
Yeah.
So, Activision also did announce that Call of Duty is this week. They announced Call of Duty is a yearly release. Surprise, surprise! There,
A big surprise.
Yeah.
Well, this was in their earnings call.
Yeah,
Activision is down on year over year. They predicted this because they've made cutbacks and stuff.
Yeah.
They predicted this, and then in their conference call, the shareholder call, I think is what it is, right? The financial world, whatever. They talked about they're really expecting Call of Duty to do good, and I'll tell you what, up until now, this game looks really good.
My guys hope you.
sorry.
Looks really good.
Hey, this is actually one of the videos I watched. He's a good YouTuber.
Oh, okay.
Just so you know.
Is this gameplay of what
Yep.
we're talking about?
Well, it's gameplay.
Oh, well, okay. I'll just put it on too.
Yeah. But Modern Warfare making more news. It has been confirmed that 64-player ground war is coming.
Boom.
Now, that's very interesting because I think they are going after the Battlefield crowd.
Oh, because that's what Battlefield does, 32 and 32. Yeah.
They are going to have vehicles. It's going to be really interesting to see how the vehicles work. There are going to be piloted choppers.
And they're on that-
player-piloted choppers.
And they're on that new engine, which really was what set Battlefield apart, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, it was just so smooth.
Now-
the graphics, they moved realistic, nice physics. Everything looked good, sounded great.
Yeah. Now, Mark, this is the video I was actually watching. I wanted to tell you something. In this video that we're watching over here on Mixer, we have it kind of in the background. It's just showing gameplay of the multiplayer event where a lot of big streamers came and tried things out. One thing I noticed, if you look at the spawn system, it's interesting. Because
In a good way or a bad way?
In a good way.
Okay.
Because when they spawn, it's kind of like Battlefield 5 where it goes up and then you kind of zoom down into the map.
Sure.
But if you notice, there's two sides of this, and this might just be the specific game mode. It looks like a kind of a domination type mode. But if you notice, each team is only spawning in a certain section of the map on the very back perimeter, right? And if you notice, within that back section of the map, they're actually spawning in different locations. So what I think this does, and this is just me, is it basically does...
Fixes the spawn problem.
It fixes the spawn problem because you're not spawning behind the person you just killed or whatever that just killed you, whatever.
Yeah, that means
Now-
that I'll probably be playing this game
Also,
mode. Oh.
because it's in the back section and it's within different sections of the back, like it feels like there's kind of a big square and they spawn in random spots within that square, it prevents camping because you don't know where they're going to spawn within that area, right?
Okay.
So you can't spawn camp. Like if we knew, okay, they're going to spawn by this bucket every single time, you can just stand there and wait for them, right? But it's choosing different spots within like a certain area, right?
yeah.
So anyway, I don't know how for sure how the sponsor. They haven't said anything, obviously, but it looks everything that I've seen. It looks like they're going in the right direction. Whatever game director they hired this year, or maybe it's I don't know. I feel like he's on point.
Dude.
He's making good changes.
Well, they said Activision rearranged and put a bunch of money and rearranged assets and stuff like that.
So they moved the desks around.
They moved the desks.
Put a fish tank in the
to
corner.
focus on some of their IPs, and I think this. I mean, I think it shows.
Yeah.
I really do. This looks so good.
Another cool feature I like about this game, right there. If you notice when he went into the zooming down the iron sights, it doesn't, with the exception of the sniper. It does, and I can't remember. I haven't played Black Ops in a while, but it doesn't fill up the whole screen. It's as if you're actually looking down the scope. Does that make sense? Your scope only kind of goes to the middle of the screen. It doesn't fill the whole screen.
Yeah, I think that depends on the
weapon itself, or
the
the
weapon
scope?
and the scope. Right?
So, because I noticed when they're using the sniper, it full screens, but when they see like that,
that's
you know
how
what I mean?
That's how Call of Duty's been for a while. Yeah,
Okay,
that's
then
pretty
I just like that, right? But it's really cool. It has been confirmed 32 versus 32, and they are still saying they can get up to 100, which is pretty cool. I mean, maybe they're testing at 100, and then 64 players is just going to be right there optimized. Who knows what they're doing? But also, there was an interview with, I believe, the senior art director, and he was asked rapid fire questions like this, that what's this going to do? What's that going to do? But he was asked, is there going to be a battle royale mode? And he says, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
So he neither confirmed nor denied.
I can neither confirm or deny.
So very, very cool. But anyway, big Call of Duty news this week. I'm really excited for it. I'm
Spicy's
excited.
chomping at the bit. I can see him.
No,
it just looks so.
It looks like they're fixing a lot of the things that upset a lot of people, and it looks like they're catering to their audience.
Now
a
there
little
still
more.
is kill cams. I did notice that, but I mean, I think that's just a thing of gaming nowadays.
The game looks gorgeous, and this is probably the first Call of Duty in 4 years, 5 years that I'm going to actually buy. I am buying this one.
Or did
I
we
guess,
buy you
I guess
Black Ops?
I did buy Black Ops. Well, that was for.
Is that one of the ones I bought to make you feel bad, so you'd have to play
There's a
with
good
me?
chance that's probably
what
the
happens.
case.
That's usually what I do. Like, hey, I bought it. I spent my money. You have to play with me now.
Yeah. Well, and the last one had the battle royale mode, right? So-
Yeah, which we all like to try.
and that was fun. But yeah, me and Jono are gonna get in pretty hard on this. We're
Ooh.
planning
Yeah, he
on
told
it.
me about that.
Oh.
He's buying it on the PC, but thanks to cross play, we can play with each other.
That's funny. That means I'm gonna be put on the PC servers.
No, you are. I'm actually.
That's pretty good.
I will actually be purchasing this game twice, once on the PC and once on the console. So
Yeah.
I will be that guy.
Yeah. Well,
But
cool.
I'm very excited for it. Moving on, another first-person shooter, Destiny.
Boom.
Destiny 2
Cross
save.
saves.
I love this because I have some friends that play it on PC, and I'd love to go play with them, but I don't want to redo everything I've done. Right?
Well, you do have
know?
to redo some stuff. For instance, your currency stays on the system.
Yeah,
that
so it's
you're
going to
on.
be similar to Fortnite. Like if
Yeah.
I buy Sparks on my Xbox, those Sparks. Wait, no, what are they called? Sparks?
What?
V-Bucks.
Oh, we're talking about
Yeah,
Fortnite. Yeah,
V-Bucks.
V-Bucks.
Yeah, Sparks are Mixer. My bad.
Yeah.
McDonald or not McDonald's, Mickey Mouse dollars.
Yeah.
Monopoly
Like
money.
when I buy V-Bucks on my Xbox, they stay on my Xbox, and then I have to buy a separate version on the Switch or
Yeah.
whatever, right? So that currency, what do they call them? I forget.
Silver.
Silver, there you
Yeah.
go. That's an easy thing to remember.
Gold. Silver. Silver.
Platinum. I don't know. Just choose one.
So silver will stay
Silver
on
will
the
stay
console
on the
or
platform that you buy it from, but all your character progression and all that stuff is cross-save. Now, what's really exciting is we knew this was coming, but now we have a date, and it is not too far, my friends. It is August 21st. On that date, you'll be able to link your Destiny 2 accounts between multiple platforms and play wherever you want.
Ooh, I like it.
So that'll be very fun. Moving on.
Moving
this
on.
this was really interesting. So I just thought I'd throw it in there. Apparently there was you guys know like the G8 or whatever, like the big things that
Yeah.
win all the countries. I mean, apparently like the gaming industry does that.
Oh, yeah,
every once in a while.
Yeah, yes, I've read about this.
Yeah, it
I
made
can't
me
forget what it's
it
called.
it made me laugh because they were talking about the summit was this week.
The summit,
I was like,
yeah.
Whoa,
The gaming summit.
It was really intense. Anyway, but they talked about loot boxes and other such things. But basically, in a nutshell, what had happened is the three big platformers, Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony, have agreed to basically have a, what would you call it, a rule?
A standard.
Or
They're
there
setting
you
a
go,
standard.
That's the politically correct way to say it. I like
Well, they're
that.
setting a standard that if you're going to have loot boxes in your game
You
on
need
their
to disclose
platforms,
it.
you have to show odds for your loot boxes. Which,
Disclose the
which
loot
I think
box-
is kind of cool. I actually, ironically, I think odds. So this is how my mind works, right? And I think I'm someone prone to gambling, which is who they're trying to help.
Yeah.
Showing me odds makes me want the, you
Makes you gamble more.
Let's say I win. Yeah, I win 100 to 1 item, right? But I see Spicy won the 1,000 to 1 item. It makes that more valuable because now I know how rare it is. There's a monetary value. It essentially adds monetary value for me. So I think that's hilarious. Someone like me, I like the odds.
Yeah.
The odds.
So it'll be interesting. So
I'm
I wonder.
a risk taker.
I wonder, like, basically what that means, or what it means to me when I read it. Like, take a game like Overwatch, who does have loot boxes, they have to disclose their odds. Like, this Diva skin is a 2% chance.
What's super
right?
interesting about that is because I think
those sprays are going to be like a 90% chance.
I think Overwatch has changed their odds consistently.
Oh,
to when they want more money, kind of a thing, right?
Yeah.
This is going to kind of prevent that a little bit,
Oh,
or
yeah,
at least let us know that hey, we want more ka-ching,
Yeah.
so you're going to be screwed. Now, there's more.
Yeah. Do
You
you
know?
think it's a problem? The loot box thing is a real issue?
It depends on how it's done.
well,
No, but let's take Overwatch.
when you say-
do you think it's okay for Overwatch to do loot boxes how you just described them?
So Overwatch does it incorrectly.
Okay.
They purposefully make it so their sprays that are pointless and useless are repeated extensively throughout every loot box that you get.
and you can get 4 at a time,
Yeah.
which is all you get in a loot box.
You can get
is
the
4
same
items.
spray in the same loot box.
Sure,
Like
okay.
it's terrible. And they do that in a way it's just really, really upsetting. I actually on my Overwatch account on my Xbox, I have 150 plus
Yeah.
that I haven't just opened.
And you can purchase loot boxes.
You can
I
purchase
wonder
them.
if there's a limit, like if you'll reach 999 and like you can't get any more,
but
That'd
you
be
earn
funny.
them too. But you can
You
purchase
earn them
as well.
by leveling up, which they
slowed down.
They decreased your experience, so you would get those loot boxes less and less, right? So I think like a move like this keeps the integrity of certain companies honest.
It's transparency,
Yeah,
and
it's
I think transparency is always good. I like that.
But so I really disagree with that. I really disagree with flooding your loot boxes with things that no one will ever use or care for or want to an extent that it's just pointless to open them. I think the drop rate for a legendary is just like 1 out of 80.
Well, we're about to find. Here's the thing: who's going to test that to see that those are correct?
So they do.
well, if they have to submit their things to
there's
places,
like there's like people that crawl and source out and do a whole bunch of stuff like that.
Sure.
Like the reason we know on Hearthstone they have a deck tracker that I actually use when I open packs. They have a lot of software out there for Hearthstone, but they call it a pity timer. And so it's a plugin. I turn it on whenever I open packs, and it tells me that specific pack what the
Odds are.
the odds are and what it's guaranteed to get it in, right? So the fact that I knew that was like that I got the worst odds possible on my $80 pack we talked about
Yeah,
earlier
yeah.
is because that software tells me every 40 you're guaranteed 1,
Interesting.
and I got 2 out of 80.
Okay, let me ask you this.
so you got that one.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, because I feel just my gut instinct, and keep in mind, this is not from any research that I've done or anything. This is just how I feel in general. I'm not a guy that, anyways, I don't know that, for instance, like that there is a pandemic of people stealing their mom's cards and spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now I know that there's lots of examples out there that we can see, but I think there are the odd developer that's trying to do that, right? They don't care. They're trying to take your money.
From like, are you talking about like targeting children or
Yeah,
something?
from targeting children, from
Well,
from ripping you off. They're basically trying to rip you off and provide you with no value, right? I think for the most part, everybody is trying to give you value in their loot boxes. I don't think, for the most part, most of the games that have this mechanic, that have this option, are implementing it in a way that is screwing you because they know we would revolt. Like it's a market decision. If it's too bad, you're just not going to play that game. Like it's not worth it for you anymore.
Well, you won't do that. You won't stop playing the game. Like Overwatch, I still play.
You're
I
just not
I
using
just
that
think
mechanic.
the loot boxes are broken.
Yeah.
They're straight up stupid.
Yeah.
So, but there's ways to do it in a good way that gets people to pay money and thinks they are getting value, like Fortnite. There's no loot boxes there, but how they do it is they allow you to earn things and they allow you to buy things, what you
Yeah.
want. I think loot boxes in card games and specific genres of games are totally viable, totally worth it. You want to support the developers. You want them to be able to make more content for you. But if it's done in a way that's obviously deceiving in a way. I would say the Overwatch ones are a little deceiving because of how much they flood the loot boxes with crap.
Interesting.
So I think the who is it? The people putting this together. I think Electronic Arts is doing it right. Is EA involved?
Yeah, EA, Microsoft,
yeah, they're all-
Sony, Nintendo, all the big
Sony,
guys.
yeah, although they're all getting together,
Yeah.
and they're the ones, which is I think a really cool thing that the industry is getting involved.
And that's the
doing
point.
this.
I think the industry is solving it. I'm just very wary of having people who have never played games. Like, have you seen when Mark Zuckerberg went up to Congress to testify? The questions he was asked, don't even know. Congress people don't even know how to use Facebook properly. Yet we expect them to be able to regulate our games and tell us what we can and cannot play.
with that.
I like this solution. I like just get together as an industry and just make a decision on it. And I think this is bringing transparency to it. And I think this is a good thing. I don't know if it's considered gambling. I know this is under the rule of gambling. I know what's it called. What is the? And a lot of people will disagree with me on this, but the DraftKings got sued and it wasn't allowed in some states because of it was considered gambling.
Yeah.
It went up to the Supreme Court and the Supreme Court ruled that it's now in all 50 states because it's not gambling. And the reason it's not considered gambling is because it tells you the odds of winning before you sign up for it. Like, and it tells you what you will and will not win. So it's not like, oh, I'm putting on $1. Let's randomly see what I win. Like, it tells you before you join. And I feel like a loot box does that as well. I feel like loot box system is much closer to a DraftKings than it is to casino gambling, right? Like our traditional gambling that we're thinking of. So, I mean, I know that's probably a gray line that gets blurred there, but I do think there are some differences. But I do like the solution that is coming from the industry and not some
guy that has
some
no
guy
idea.
that's never played.
Guy or gal that has
he hears about Fortnite and he thinks this is a big deal and what people tell him who have an agenda. I just think.
Yeah, they don't.
I just think the industry solving it is going to be the best solution.
I
So,
agree 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't tell me what I can or cannot do, and don't tell me what I can or cannot play. From people that don't know what they're even talking
Yeah.
about.
So I think Microsoft, EA. I like this. I like this move overall.
I agree.
Yeah.
Jordan, next.
Apex Legends is getting a solo limited or a limited time event with a solo mode, which will be pretty interesting. So you can queue as solos during this event. And I'm going to be interested to see how it works. So it's going to start August 13th and run through August 27th. So it's just a little over a week event.
I think this is kind of just like a test thing because I think I think the game is balanced for 3.
No, and that's what I'm saying. And I think I didn't actually read it or hear him say it, but I saw a headline saying that Shroud, the streamer, doesn't think it's going to be as popular as most people think because
It's balanced for 3.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But like I said, I just saw.
I think it's
I just saw a headline that said that. No, I did too.
I like being a lone wolf.
Yeah. Ooh.
Well, no, like you said, though, I think it's a test to see, like, can it work? Will it be popular?
Yeah.
Does it work in single mode? Do you think it will, Spicy?
Yeah. I think you're going to get people that like it, and that's what ultimately is going to be seen if people. I think you're going to see if people play it, and if it plays it, and if it fills up servers, then I think it's a definite possibility. I would probably still prefer the 3 because that's what makes sense, and it's balanced with the heroes and their abilities and everything for that way. But there's a good chance.
I think solos is fun. Like Ronan said, Ronan says, I'm always for not getting matched up with scrubs. You know you won because you're good, or you lost because you're bad.
And the thing about like games like this is the more people you have, the less loot you have per area.
Oh, that's
because
true.
they're picking up stuff too,
Yeah.
right? So running lone wolf will allow you to get theoretically more loot or better loot instead of sharing the good stuff. You can now ditch some of the crappy stuff and have the good stuff, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Dude, it's super
But,
cool.
Yeah, coming this month. It'll be just a limited time event. Be sure to check it out.
Apex keeps up in their game.
We have more free play days, which I always like with Xbox.
Who doesn't like that?
It's free, right? So the game that will be free is Vigor, which is pretty cool. Vigor is a shoot and loot game where you build a shelter in a
Post-apocalyptic.
Post-war Norway. But no, we've seen previews of the game, and we all thought it looked really interesting. So I've yet to play it,
Yeah,
obviously.
I don't really know Vigor, but interesting.
But it's pretty cool. So it's in-game preview right now, but it is a part of free play days, and that will begin August 8th, which is, oh my goodness, today. And it
Today's
runs
the
through
8th.
Sunday,
Boom!
August 11th, which is just in a few days. So if you're listening to this after the 11th, sorry you missed it. But
Go play.
if you listen to it before
Go
the
play
11th,
right now.
then
Hurry.
go give it a try.
All right, turn this off and go play.
Yes.
And that brings us to the last segment of our show. Ooh. This is the portion of the show where we take your questions. To submit a question, you can do so each and every single week over at Patreon, patreon.com/positive gaming. Submit your question, and we'll read it if it's good. Only if it's good. Justin Donahue writes in.
Oh!
Justin, he says, I had a question about balancing gaming. What is the best way to go about balancing game variety when you play a game like Destiny? Right now, I would consider this my main game, and I find myself playing other games less and less because I'm afraid if I get behind, hey, this goes right into what we were talking about earlier. I'm afraid if I get behind, I'll get behind if I step away from Destiny. Do you guys have any advice for playing MMO-like games while keeping game variety? Let's start with Jordan, because Jordan's our big MMO. He plays the most MMOs. He always has at least one MMO going. Jordan, some advice for Justin.
Yeah.
How to balance his gaming genre variety. Best practices.
Yes.
Help the man
Well,
out.
if we're talking about MMOs, I feel like I'm a little bit different in this category because
you're crazy.
I dig the grind, man.
He's a grind.
Let's you can use Destiny example, and I'll just use the one I always use as an example. World of Warcraft Classic is coming out, right? Which is just the original World of Warcraft game. When you leveled 1 to 60 back in the day, it was no easy task.
No joke.
I mean, it was tough.
Took
right?
months.
Yeah, and like depending on what class you chose, like if you did a warrior or a paladin, you were a masochist because it was just difficult to do those two classes. What I'm doing, warrior.
Oh, so
I like the challenge.
Yeah.
So no, but it was difficult. But it's going back to what we talked about earlier when you earn it, right? Like I like the difficulty, I like the grind, I like leveling up in the world and stuff like that. Same with Destiny, right? I like that I have to play to progress. You know what I mean? Now, I get what he's saying. Like, if you miss it, there are games where, like, if you miss a day, you're behind type of thing, right? That gets a little tough. But honestly, the only thing that I have found that works fantastic is just power through. Mm-hmm. Like what I did with The Witcher. You get through it, you take a week off because it kills you, and then you just move on to the next one.
I was more like a couple months off. I think you were out of commission for.
Well, The Witcher was deep. Did I just touch your back? I'm sorry.
That's okay. So do you not recommend variety games? You recommend going through doing everything, then do your variety, and then come back when a new expansion comes out? Or
Well,
something?
I mean, like right now, I have a couple games going. Right, like single player games. I suggest just beating them and then moving on. But I have a mix of like right now. I'm playing Spider-Man on my PlayStation, right?
Okay.
I'm pretty much beating it. I'm basically on the last level. I'll beat it tonight, and then I'll my single-player game. I'll move on to Assassin's Creed back on the Xbox, right? But in between those, I'm playing Overwatch. We're playing Wolfenstein. You know what I mean? We're getting that multiplayer action in there, right? So I kind of have like a multiplayer game going and a single-player game going. Now, when it comes to MMOs, that's where you gotta.
I think that's his question.
Well,
Destiny.
MMOs.
What's his variety status?
You got to draw the line. Those types of games, a Destiny, a World of Warcraft, a ESO, you got to put in the time.
So
don't
worry about variety, is what you're saying.
I don't think with those games like you can. Like you got to put in the time.
McSpicy. Agree with Jordan? Disagree with Jordan? How would you balance your Destiny, your grind game, while maintaining a nice gaming balance? Basically, what we've learned in this discussion is Jordan is an unbalanced gamer.
Yeah.
Well, I used to have days like I had a whiteboard on my wall. Monday would be Warcraft, right?
Okay.
Tuesday would be your single player game. Wednesday would be Minecraft. You know what I mean?
We went away from that. You didn't like it?
Well, because for me personally, it works better when I just like, hey, I'm gonna beat Spider-Man this week, then I'm done. Then I'm gonna beat Assassin's Creed, then I'm done, right? And then during the week we meet up and we played Minecraft and Youngbloods,
sure,
and we all played Overwatch together, right? You know, so it gives me that mix.
Yeah,
and no sleep.
That's the key. It's hard because Jordan sacrifices lots of sleep to play games. Mm-hmm. And he's a power user, man. He's a power user. Big Spicy though. Any recommendations for Justin? He's going through a game like Destiny, but he finds his balance of gaming is going down. He wants to retain that balance.
Okay. Ultimately, this is my theory. Just just be happy and play what you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's so. Don't. Hopefully, you're not feeling the stress that you're missing out on stuff because the games are always going to be there.
Yeah.
Especially with Game Pass and Game Pass Ultimate. Now you have lots and lots of games that you can always backlog
This is
to,
true.
right? But I personally, like me, I play what I want, and I have tons. The problem with that, I guess, is you have a lot of games going in your backlog. But I know that I started playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey again, and that's that came out last quarter 3 last
Sold.
yeah, last year, at the end of last year. But now I'm playing it again, and I'm thoroughly enjoying that game a lot. Right, so games will come and go, but you can always go back to them. It's not like it's and you'll probably get a better deal even if they're not in Game Pass.
Yeah.
You'll get a discount on them, right? Yeah.
But I feel like you're kind of a power player too, because
I
you
do.
go one game and then you're done.
Yeah, I don't
You know what I
I don't multitask
Yeah.
games, right? So, then that's because I want to check them off the list, and I usually never go back to games ever, which is funny because I went back to Odyssey, but I really just didn't.
It was a fluke.
Really, what happened? What happened on that was I streamed it because I was going to stream Overwatch, oddly enough, and it had this huge update, and I was like, okay,
What do I do?
I'm here now.
Yeah, you're like, oh.
So I guess I'm going to play, Odyssey, and then it hooked me. It's so good. It is so good. So
Great question,
Yeah.
Justin. I think this is something everybody struggles with, especially when you get like a big,
It can get hard.
just a big game, and you're.
it can get hard.
That's what she said.
Sacri-
Yeah, and stressful.
Also, that's what
Like
she
The
said.
Witcher
And
stressed me out.
It can get hard and stressful. That's what she said.
Great question, Justin. Hopefully that helps you out there. Kevin Gellerman writes in and says, "Hey guys, with summer drawing to an end and with family vacations wrapping up, I thought of this question for the community. Do you take your console with you on family vacation and take time for gaming or no? If not, what game do you play when you get back after a week of not playing? Thanks for all you do and keep up the great work." I think this is a great question. I'm going to go with Spicy first because I know Spicy, during the summer especially, takes some weekend vacations. Do you bring your console with you on vacation? Do you play? What is your strategy for
100%.
family vacations?
100,000%. I know that other people in the world aren't. They have like Jordan has to ask permission.
Sure.
From Sarah.
Yeah.
To take your console.
You
asked
asked permission?
I asked for forgiveness.
I have to, yeah.
There's a
That's
big
your-
difference. There.
I have to
first
ask.
mistake.
For some reason, like the Xbox and the PlayStation, she sees me bring that, and she's like, "Oh, so you're not going to spend time with us?" but I'll bring the Switch, and for some reason, the Switch gets a pass.
Oh,
It makes it
does.
through security.
It's
you know what I mean? Like
It's because it's non-threatening.
My wife even's like, "Hey, where's the Switch?"
you're like,
Hey, you got her trained. That's awesome.
Yeah, she's like,
Wait,
and
aren't
she
you
doesn't
going
play
to
it.
have fun with your life?
then you pull it out from under your
It's
pillow.
because it's non-threatening. Really, it's like oh yeah, okay.
Well, it's like a cell phone.
It's like a phone. Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay.
No, I get it. You look at the Xbox and you're intimidated.
No.
You're like, "Oh,
And so Jordan he doesn't dare bring his world's most
It's a
powerful
big console,
console.
but you do.
I bring it, man.
Ooh.
I don't joke around.
I like it.
When I go to new areas, I show that I pull it out, set it
He wears
right
it
in the
as a
middle of the
backpack.
right in the middle of the room. And I'm the alpha, right?
Yeah.
So if I have the world's most powerful
Here's the thing.
console right there.
Here's the thing when you're on vacation too. Like, yes, it's nice to get away and stuff, but if you really want to play, you bring it and play with your family like at night when everybody's inside anyways.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
bring family games, party games. I know you've done that with your nephews, Spicy.
Yeah.
We've done that with my extended family. They all are Mortal Kombat people, stuff like that. So you can make it into like a nighttime instead of playing cards at night or sitting and talking. Hey, we're playing games together, right? It's just another form of entertainment on your family vacation.
Yeah, and I had this conversation. I've had this conversation with my wife, and she understands this. When I go on vacation, my ideal vacation is sitting down and playing games. Like that's how I relax.
You're like a staycation vacation.
Yeah,
man.
I'll go outside and play out on the beach and whatever. But I want the option to just relax, kick my feet up, and kill some Romans.
This is
you know?
why xCloud is so exciting, because one controller's not intimidating either. That can make it past security.
Yeah, no, that's
And
true.
then you
So
just
when xCloud comes
Click
out,
that phone on there.
It's going to change my life.
it's going to change. There'll be no opposition to overcome.
Yeah, I just went to Bear Lake last weekend, and I brought my Xbox with a couple controllers, right? And my nieces and nephews, they think I'm the coolest guy in the world because they're like, "Hey, did you bring your Xbox?" I'm like, "You're dang right."
I saw you playing Human Fall Flat.
Yeah. Actually, they were playing that, and we had they brought their friends, and they were all playing that, and some of us are outside near a campfire and everything, and it's just
Playing your Switches,
being
while
out,
roasting.
being on vacation, having my gaming setup is just awesome.
So Quick in chat says there's no way my wife would allow me to bring a console. Mrs. Bill I Am says that she brings her gaming devices. Super Shocker says a gaming device beats Risk, playing Risk with the family.
Play Risk on the console.
Wait, does the Xbox One have Risk? I remember the.
It does.
Yeah,
so
the
the 360's Risk was superior. The new Risk, I'm not a big fan of.
Oh, okay.
Because it just doesn't have the biggest one.
Quick's wife heard you.
Yeah, that's funny.
Let's see. I saw Ronan. Ronan says I bring a console if I'm going home on vacation, but if I'm going on a legit vacation, the most he'll bring is the Switch. So
so I bring my Switch with. Well, I get the Switch makes it through the security, right? Which is of my wife. She
Why aren't you bringing the Switch?
Yeah,
you're going on vacation.
She loves Mario Kart.
That's so awesome.
No, actually, it's funny. My wife, she's not a huge gamer, but the only game she plays, she loves Mario Kart, Mario Party, and Super Smash. Right, all Nintendo. That's how I get the excuse to buy the Nintendo every time.
Nerdluck says I bought a projector and my Switch with Mario Kart, or he brought a projector and his Mario Kart on his vacation, and it was glorious.
See, and I think there's a stigma that you shouldn't. It's a stereotype or something that gamers shouldn't bring their console because they're on vacation. And my whole argument with my wife, and she wants me to relax because I hardly ever get that chance. Actually, is just bring it as a just in case. And if you get a chance, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's ideal, right?
Yeah.
So
Again, why I'm so excited for XCloud,
because
a controller and a cell phone can make it through the security.
And last but not least, Fitzy says my wife would kill me if I brought a gaming system on a vacation, but at the same time, I wouldn't bring one because my vacations are also adventures where we go scuba diving.
But see, you can do that, but when you get home
at night, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if XCloud, they in the board meeting, they first thought of XCloud guys, man, I can't bring it on vacation. How do we do this?
That's how it started.
Guys,
I bet
my wife yelled at me. My wife broke my Xbox, guys, because I tried to
Phil
bring it
Spencer's
on
like,
vacation.
guys, let me tell you a story before we get this
Right,
meeting
is
going.
there a way we could do this on the phone? I've seen these phone games. Is there a way we could stream the Xbox to it, please?
Guys, we got to
I'm
think of
dying
something.
here. I'm dying here.
Though that's just how our meetings would go if we were in charge of anything that mattered.
And then
Right?
they start brainstorming.
But hey, stuff would.
Okay,
We all have phones, right?
No, it started out with because I don't think it could be done, and then people were like, "We gotta figure it out."
The guys in there, guys, I'm going on vacation in 2 months. We got to think of
Yeah,
something.
come on.
We got
We need a prototype now.
Yeah, we got something.
We got 2 months. Let's get it done. Hey, great question. Thank you very much, Kevin. Kaiju Are Dope is as our next question, and he says, with Death Stranding not being listed on PS4 exclusive list, do you think it's coming to Xbox, PC, or is this just a bug and it will get fixed? So there's a big news story. Death Stranding did not have PS4 exclusive listed like it does for its other games.
I don't know.
I don't know.
My theory is I don't know.
So McSpicy thinks this game's. I think he's down the. This is too weird for me.
Well, this is like your. I don't. What's so weird is how weird stereotypical Japanese games. Like you're expecting weird, and we got weird.
And this took it to a whole
I remember the first one. Was it like 3 years ago when it was not even that. It was the feed on the beach.
Oh yeah, it was like
and
invisible.
then you're like tilting your head like
what's happening?
Well, I guess it looks good, but I don't know.
And then Daryl shows up, and you're like,
and then then they're going like the thing's going like this, and now everyone has an embryo backpack, or no, they have them on their stomach.
And doesn't the camera go down someone's throat,
It's
and then a
just-
baby? But see,
dude, somebody was
That game-
smoking something so strong.
But
when
that's what I like
They
is-
brainstormed this.
that's what I
Mushrooms.
like is I know I'm being taken for a ride,
It is true. You know what you're getting into,
like Metal
Yeah.
Gear Solid.
and what you're getting into.
I
Metal
was
Gear
I
Solid
was
is
jealous
a
of you because you got to because I knew Metal Gear Solid had these weird elements, and you thought it was like a.
No, yeah, I'm like
You were going.
I was jealous of your
I
like
was going
your,
Tom Clancy Splinter
I was
Cell
Splinter
realism.
Celling
I was
that
jealous
game.
of your first time, you
And
know,
then
like-
all of a sudden, this like thing happens,
And then the dinosaur
and then
gun.
the wiener gun comes out of the canyon, and it's just legs with a gun between its crotch running at me, and it stressed
You gotta
me
hide
out.
in those bushes.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. Rink, oh my gosh.
The
man.
horseman, the apocalypse horseman chasing after you after the hospital after that scene.
Man, I was so confused. And then what's that? Quiet? Remember Quiet, the sniper girl? Do you remember?
Oh,
yeah, of course.
Well, every time I looked at her through my scope, she'd go, "Hello."
She's a really cool character. But I remember, I don't know, it's a cutscene. All of a sudden, I'm going back to base, and then there's this cutscene where she feels the
Playing
rain,
the rain, yeah.
and jumps out of the.
It was very emotional.
And then her boots are taken off. And I was just like,
And then they splash each other.
You just have no heart. That's what it is. You have no heart.
it's just
He's going for the emotional heart strings.
was
the
so,
tugging them.
I love the emotional roller coaster those games take you.
I know.
There's highs and lows.
They play with your emotions hard.
And then you go kill people. It's just great. It's a great formula.
Yeah. Anyway, so that Death Stranding going.
Is it a PS4 exclusive? We don't know. That might just be a mistake.
Because
It'll be cool. It'd be cool to have it on the Xbox. That's my answer.
I feel like Hideo Kojima. Yeah. Hideo Kojima. I feel like he's very PlayStation. You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, I know Metal Gear Solid 5 came out on the Xbox, but I think that was more of a Konami thing.
Yeah, and maybe yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, hey, if it comes, I'm not going to deny it.
Dude, I'm excited. Makes
I
spicy.
will
Too
welcome
weird,
it
but
with
I'm excited.
No, I'm excited.
Yeah, well, that's seeing the gameplay and stuff like that. You're hiking around with an embryo backpack. With little hand things and then things that come out on the ground, and it's just weird. it's just like I feel like, honestly, what's that fairy tale where the emperor has no clothes? And I'm looking at this, seeing something completely different than everyone else. That's, the emperor has no clothes. I don't know.
Great question, Kaiju are dope. Thank you very much for writing in. Next question comes from Blake Densley. This one's for all of us here. This is a great question, too. He says, okay, I want to know what your favorite cutscene is. He says, I know Spicy had a cool one last week, and it got me thinking, what's the best one I've ever had the pleasure of viewing? He says, I'm pretty sure it's in Shadow of War. It deals with the forging of the One Ring.
Oh, okay.
Coolest cutscene
I know mine.
that you've experienced
it's probably the same
in a
as Mark's.
game.
Oh, yeah.
I want to say it.
Yeah, I know it's you. Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead, Spicy.
Diablo 3,
Yep.
Act.
Yep.
I think it's Act.
End of Act 1.
End of Act 1, right before Act 2.
It's
Oh,
so
yeah.
good. Before I even played that game, these guys showed me it multiple times.
When Tyrael, so a very, very endeared and beloved character passes away in this section of the game that you really, really like, and you're sitting there with another character that also loved them, and there's two characters right there, and then she's accuses this other character of doing something, of not caring, and he has the ability to show her memories
With his giant hand.
with his giant hand.
Talk about man hand.
That's a man
And
hand. That's a
he
grind hand.
shows what happened to him, and it's Tyrael. I'm going to say it's Tyrael, and it takes you up to what happened to him in the heavens, and it is one of the greatest cutscenes of all time. It is so good.
Yeah, so so the backstory of it is there's archangels, right?
Yeah.
And there's a character named Imperius who's basically the lead angel, right? The lead archangel. And Tyrael is the archangel of justice. Right? So he's just, right? So anyway, he has this line where him and Imperius start fighting like angels do,
Well,
and it was a freaking cool fight.
Because,
Just
in this lore, they all have different
oh,
roles,
because
right?
I think, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so Tyrael is he's in charge of justice, right? So and he
And then
wants
you have, like, wisdom
He
and all
doesn't want
different-
heaven is in this lore is abandoning the mortals.
Yeah.
And the mortals are being flooded with hell's demons. And Tyrael doesn't like that because he's the god of justice, right? He's the archangel of justice. And so heaven wants to stay out of this dispute, and then he's charging him and telling him, kind of a
Because
thing.
he interfered in Diablo 2, right? And anyway, they get in this fight, and he has what did he say to him? He says, "You cannot,
You can't judge me. I'm justice itself."
Yeah, and he says it's so
and
cool.
he starts ripping off his armor.
Dude,
Angel
oh, it's
armor,
the
yeah,
greatest
it's pretty
scene
awesome.
ever.
It's pretty
Great
awesome,
voice
so.
acting the whole show, and then it pans out to is it the girl burying her father, right, with the book?
Yeah.
And
I'm not
and
going to
that's
tell
it.
you. I just had if you haven't played Diablo 3 and you want to, I'm not going to
Dude,
tell you
It's really
Yeah,
cool.
who that
that
character
cutscene.
is. But yeah, it's Tyrael is.
So
there,
it's like
man.
a narration, and this is like showing how this character has now.
It was probably the best
is now in
cutscene
his
of the
present
game.
state.
I remember watching it for the first time and being like, "Holy!"
Did we watch it? Did we beat it together?
I had
when
so
we went?
many
'Cause
chills.
Yeah,
Yeah, we were
was,
playing it
was,
together.
because we were on the PC back then. Because that's where it was, right?
Yeah.
But
So good. And then there's cutscenes that I really like. The original Halo. I talked about this last week.
Halo's always got a good one.
The scene and why this game, the original Halo, was so good was that cutscene where you're going down this tunnel in this area in the Halo planet thing, and you get a memory card from a soldier's helmet.
Yep.
And you
Jenkins.
plug it in. Yep. It was a Private Jenkins.
Private Jenkins.
And you start watching what happens. Up till this point, you were only fighting one foe, a very dangerous foe, and that's what you've been fighting this whole time. And then you're starting to watch this cutscene of what's happening, and he's Master Chief. You can see him fast forwarding it in his helmet visor or whatever, fast forwarding it, and then you're introduced to a completely another enemy that you had no idea existed, the Flood at this point, right? And that whole thing. And right after the cutscene, they all start flooding in.
Yeah.
And that was a game changer for me. Just how cool that whole lore developed when now you're going through these levels and the Flood is fighting the people that you were fighting. It's this huge 3-way going on, right?
Yeah.
So-
Yeah. In
John,
Halo.
cool.
John O'Man in chat says Master Chief versus Spartan Locke. He also says in
That's a
Halo
good one.
2 when
Drops the bomb?
drops the bomb.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great.
I want to
cutscene.
give them give them a bomb
He
back.
asked permission.
There's a
to
lot
leave,
in
yeah.
Halo 2. Halo 2 with Sergeant
Halo
Johnson.
2 has a lot, yeah.
Yeah, Halo 2 has got a lot of epic cutscenes.
Yeah, that one was so good. Just permission to leave the ship. What for, Master Chief? To give them their bomb back. And he just jumps out of the ship.
Soul Patch
So
Adams.
good.
Soul Patch Adams says Wolfenstein Head Chop. Wolfenstein. Let me tell you the ending cutscenes of Wolfenstein. What happens? The way that game wraps up. This is the new remake with Bethesda, but the first version of it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. Hold on. There was another one. There was one that I saw. Anything Star Wars Old Republic, says Soul Patch Adams. Anyways, there's a lot of good cutscenes. Sergeant Johnson telling Covenant to hold him. Ooh.
Is that in the first one at the end, like when you beat it on Legendary, I think?
Dude.
Because they're fighting over an assault rifle.
Yeah.
So.
Anyways, great cutscenes. Great question, though. Blake Densley. Very nice. Thank you very much for writing that in. There's a lot of. There's also. What about the shock factor cutscenes? So, like, here's a shock factor one. The first time you're introduced to Trevor in Grand Theft Auto 5, your jaw drops.
Dude.
You're like, did I just see what I thought I just saw?
They have Rockstar does some of the.
Rockstar does cutscenes that aren't cutscenes, though, too. So, for instance, like OG Red Dead Redemption, when you come out of the barn and you're surrounded by all the police and you've got to draw your weapons and you're shooting, that's essentially a cutscene, but it's not done in not a cutscene manner, right? Like, it's gameplay cutscene. That
Game
was
engine
intense.
cutscene,
Game engine
right,
cutscene, right? Like, that's an intense moment.
Yeah.
Dude, there's so many in Rockstar games.
When you first meet Trevor?
like even Liberty, yeah, when you first meet Trevor.
Or anytime
Or
you
the
go
second time you meet Trevor?
or anytime you go back to Trevor after being another character, whatever he's doing.
Dude, the part like the cutscene where he's in his minion's cousin's apartment and he's talking about the teddy bear. Do you remember that? Where he totally trashes that guy's apartment?
Yeah. That's right.
Go look it up because I can't. It's a family show. I cannot repeat. But yeah, Trevor is a great character, man. He's so funny. Oh man, yeah. There's so many good ones, and I'm going to include some of the cinematics from game trailers. The Witcher.
The Witcher number 2, Witcher 2.
The Witcher 2, I think, is my
Dude, even the Witcher 3,
favorite.
even the Witcher 3 ones are so good.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
The Witcher 2, was that a cutscene in the game, or was that just their? I think
That
it
was just the
Their
trailer.
trailer.
explaining
Everyone,
the start of the game.
Everyone, if you're at work, I want you to stop working, go to YouTube right now that are listening, and go look up Witcher 2 trailer on the ship, and watch that. It is so good.
Does so Jordan, you're a big World of Warcraft guy. World of Warcraft is known for epic cutscenes. I mean, it's another Blizzard game, right?
Yeah, well, it has its like they have their cinematics for each expansions, right? There's a few. I mean, in the cutscenes have gotten better with each expansion,
Of
right? 'Cause
course,
you're
I
getting
mean,
new
yeah.
features, new stuff, new technology, right? In some of the later expansions, there's some pretty cool cutscenes. They're all in game though.
What's
but
your most memorable?
I don't know.
Put you
It'd
on
probably
the
be
spot.
one of the intro cinematics. Actually,
For what?
Actually,
World of Warcraft.
Oh.
there was one. So Wrath of the Lich King is my favorite expansion, mostly because I like the lore.
I don't mean to cut him
No,
off.
yeah, go ahead.
The Wrath of the Lich King trailer. I
with
have,
Arthas, yeah.
So I'm not a World of Warcraft player. I somehow avoided that.
The forest
my
of
whole life.
Lordaeron whispered your name.
But that the Lich King trailer when he points out his sword and all that.
Well, the narration is
Oh.
his father, because he's a fallen person, right? He's doing bad things, right? But the narration is his father telling him,
Yeah.
you will grow up to be a king." And
That
it's 'cause he's
trailer
a Lich King, but it's a bad guy.
is
you know?
fantastic.
But anyway, in that expansion, there's I forget what patch number it was, but it was the fall of the Lich King, right?
Okay.
Anyway, we've fought our way up to Ice Crown. We're about to knock down the doors, right? We've gone through a lot. We're finally going to raid the Lich King and bring him down once and for all. And the trailer came out for the patch, and basically he has this weapon called Frostmourne, which is it's kind of like the ring in Lord of the Rings. It corrupts you, but it also holds like the souls of your
Ancestors? Or
no, not ancestors, people you've killed,
Okay.
right?
I've never
So anyway,
played WoW.
his father comes out and he's talking to him like in a ghost form, and he's basically saying like, "Hey, they're here. You're done, right?" He's saying like, "We're gonna get you. You're done. This is over. All your atrocities, like it's over, right?" And the Lich King like looks up at him and he goes, "Let them come. Frostmourne hungers," right? And he grabs the sword, and you're like, "Oh man,
let's
it
go
is. It's pretty
fight!"
cool. Yeah. It was pretty cool. So that's probably like one of my favorite. It was a trailer announcing the patch, right? So it wasn't an actual cutscene in the game, but
That is
it's
cool.
one of my favorite World of Warcraft.
That is
It's
really
pretty
cool.
stuff.
A cutscene that gets overlooked that we all love, the three of us, that makes us laugh every time. Monster Hunter cooking.
Oh yeah, the quick one.
with,
Yeah.
with the cats. And
That's like why I go back to town.
well, and the armory guys, when you
Oh, yeah.
they're so
They're
happy
like-
to work.
They're like, is he gonna get us to do something? He
They're just
is.
standing right there.
Let's make his armor. Yeah, and the samurai cat, like the boss cat that just sits there and watches his cats make
Yeah,
all
he's
the
like-
stuff. He's like, yeah, they
the
did
head
it.
chef.
Yeah, the head chef. Yeah.
And then he puts the final touch on it every time.
all right, there you go.
There you go.
Boom.
Monster Hunter. That's the best.
Last but not least, we got a question from Mass Strangler. Mass
Oh.
Strangler writes in and says, "Hi, bros. First off, I wanted to say that last week's episode has inspired me to adopt a bastard."
You know, I streamed that week and everybody called me that.
For those of
You started something.
For those of you new to the show, just listen to last week's episode. You'll get it. It's an inside joke. They've inspired me to adopt a bastard that will not be allowed to participate in family gaming. I really want to give my natural-born children something their friends don't have. I even have a free corner of my basement to store it in. Second, he says, I wanted your insight on how Microsoft is getting people to play more games with their new services. He says, I was primarily a PC player during the 32-bit days because there was just too many 3D platformers during that era and didn't come back until the OG Xbox and PlayStation 2. He says, I didn't play PC games after that. Since converting my Xbox Live to Ultimate, I found myself playing games on my PC again in between work and homework. Now my PC isn't built for gaming and won't run stuff like Gears or Destiny, but Game Pass has so many low-spec games that are also very good that I find myself playing more games now between my Xbox and computer. He says, do you think this is a part of Microsoft's plan to make gaming so accessible that it can be done from anywhere, regardless of the specs on a device? As a non-PC gamer, I think it's working, and it's making it tricky not to get distracted. Thanks again, guys, and have a great week. I'm going to say yes. That's absolutely. I think that's definitely the benefit of it. For instance, I run Wargroove at work. Wargroove is a 2 megabyte game. It does nothing.
Yeah.
I run it at work in between processes. It's a turn-based game. It's perfect for that.
Now you can say this. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, no, I can say this.
we can say everything.
So
we can be
Yeah,
honest.
Usually David could never say that
Yeah.
until
Yeah, I got-
after the show.
Yeah.
So I played at work. I played in between processes that I run, and it's fabulous. And I do that on my PC, and I think, it has made me, because same thing. We all have gaming PCs. We all have a massive stream library, but we're primarily on console.
Yeah.
And I think Ultimate Game Pass does encourage. I think Microsoft wants you to play their games anywhere, right? I mean, I think it's why they made the accessible controller. What's that called again? Sorry, I'm spacing.
The adaptive controller?
The adaptive controller. They're really focusing on accessibility. I think Game Pass Ultimate extends that in a way to get you to play games on your PC
Yeah.
as well as your Xbox and anywhere else that you want to play. I think that's a great question, Master Strangler. McSpicy, thoughts? Agree? Disagree?
Well, you just said a lot.
I think he's zoned out.
I think he's up there. Jordan, thoughts?
No,
Agree?
what's the question?
Is Microsoft's plan to get you to have more accessibility to games on, even if you have a low end spec PC?
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, for sure. What's cool about his question also is the fact that he's now playing games that he otherwise would not have
And
played.
that's exactly
Yeah.
what I'm doing. As
Yeah.
you're going through, well, because I'm the same way. I only have so many. I can't load a massive game on my work PC, right? While I'm
Yeah.
at work, so I'm looking at these little 2 megabyte type games that I'm able to install and play.
No, and that's what I remember when I got Game Pass. So I have Ultimate now, so I have access to all that. But originally, I've had it ever since I think it came out. Game Pass, right? Just the fact that you play games that you thought you'd never have a chance to play.
Yeah.
Like one of those for me is Hitman. I've
yeah.
mentioned it all in the show a lot. That was on Game Pass. I don't know if it still is. I think it still is. But what a good game! And it totally zoomed past me, and I never realized I'd play it, but I am now. I think Microsoft has seen the value, and that's the word we're going to use, the value of how Netflix does things, of how people just love to absorb
They
entertainment,
love
right?
to browse and try new, and they're more willing to try new things, in that format.
And I will say that Game Pass is the ultimate
I see what you did there.
the ultimate value in gaming. It really is. And I think everybody can see that. And that's what I was watching a really, really big streamer watch E3 when they announced Ultimate. And this streamer is 100% a PC gamer, right? And watching the Xbox conference, usually the PC Master Race is like, oh, whatever, right? You know, or some of them. I'm not going to stereotype them all into that. But when they announced Game Pass, the PC gamer got excited. The streamer got super excited.
Yeah.
And chat, usually a trolly chat in this streamer's community, is usually so trolly, but they were all excited too, right? They're seeing the value that they can have when playing this, and I think
Well, it's
that's
more options, right? Freedom to play how
Yeah.
you want with those options. Jordan, thoughts?
Yeah.
Anything to add?
No,
to that?
well, we kind of had an experience this week with I have a couple friends that don't have Xboxes.
This is true.
They haven't been brought to the light yet. I'm trying.
They're
They're
not-
they're not.
we're
you know,
working on
We're
them.
working on it. Right.
We're working
Anyway,
on them.
They don't have Xboxes, but they both have Switches and they both have computers. And Minecraft, a game that Microsoft owns, right, is cross-play anywhere, right? So we were able to then invite them to our realm,
So
and they're
cool.
able to play with us on their Switches at home and on the PCs, right, which is really fun. And they dig our realm. And I taught them how to fly today, and
Yeah.
they really dig it. So, but anyway, just cool playing anywhere. I
No,
mean, it's
so
just super
absolutely
cool.
100% Mass Strangula. It's about expanding that accessibility, giving people options and freedom, and I think it benefits. So, for instance, to piggyback off what you said about discoverability, one game that the three of us discovered that would have never discovered, that actually then went on to kind of be a cult classic or a niche popular game, Vermintide.
Yeah.
Warhammer
Oh,
Vermintide.
that's a
It was so
good
good, and
game.
it was because it was
fun.
on Game Pass. You could just go grab it and kill millions of rats with your friends. And have fun doing it, right?
Per level.
But that
Per
was a
level,
game.
yeah.
That was a game I feel like we discovered because of Game Pass that we otherwise would have never. I would never look twice at that game.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm not really into Warhammer. I don't really know the lore. I think I'll pass, right? But because it was on Game Pass, we were able to discover it. So
yeah.
great question. Thank you very much, Mass Strangler, for
Yeah.
writing in, guys. Guess what? That does it.
Oh, we did
Another
it.
That does us
week.
for the week.
With all the errors
Guys,
that we had
the
on
made it
pre-show,
through, yeah.
the pre-show was intense. Everybody.
we were.
It
live-
was reminding me of like our OG one where it took like hours and hours and hours. This was kind of similar to that.
Yeah, we're still gonna have a post show too. So
Yes.
so hang out.
Yeah,
hang
stay
out.
around. We do a post show for everybody that's here live. Everybody that's not live, have a great week. Thank you very much for joining us.
I'm gonna hit that button. Don't just stop and make it awkward.
I'm waiting.
I'm not gonna press it now.
When you start doing stuff, it makes me nervous.
Well, because I'm going to the outro button. Don't make it weird.
Jordan, what any new games? We're gonna definitely be checking out Anthem, right? So you got to see
Yeah,
if that
yeah.
new expansion.
Yeah,
is
we're
there,
gonna
so come
check
join
out
us
the
in Anthem.
Cataclysm.
Also, if you haven't yet, come join us on Discord because the community is amazing.
Probably more Minecraft though. I'm digging the realm.
You're back into
Yeah,
Minecraft
I'm
in a
digging
big
the
way.
realm.
I might jump back into because I got to finish my church.
Your
the
church-
Church of the
the
Elder
Elder-
Dragon.
The Church of the Elder Dragon is missing a roof.
It really is. I got to see how much tithes.
I'm more of a creative destruction type. I've been destroying stuff
You
so that
have.
we can build it up again, right? Like,
Yeah.
oh, it's a good time. Guys, thank you very much. Have a great rest of the week. We love you guys. Bye-bye now.